can't guess it, can't see behind the mask. They just see me in a rough, unshaven state, a reprobate, an unlikely element to be educated. Well, guess what, you drunk?
Hello, my name is Gardener Bert, or rather, the artist formerly known as Gardener Bert. Right, before we get into this, right, I've got to give you a bit of background what it is like. So I'm a Wiltshire Gardener, but I'm in Italy. Well, I was stranded in Italy, and I sort of stayed, you know what I mean. So what happened, right? Because the thing is, I tend to ramble on a bit, you know. I tend to sort of, get around the point before getting to the point. What happened, right? A few years ago now, I was at home, in the evenings, sad and lonely, sitting there on my Todd, with a drink and, about the other. And I started, in the old phone, I started recording a few, I'd get, a bit, I'd start, talking to myself. I thought, well, I might as well record it, pick a subject, I sort of started to post them, send them out to people, and, posted a couple online, All right, but anyway, they ended up online. I don't quite know how they ended up online. Anyway, so it's under a certain point, someone got in touch with me, says, "Oh, you're the guy. You Gardener Bert, yeah?" I said, "Yeah, I am. That's right." He said, "Well, the thing is, right, we've seen your pilots, pilots, and we've seen your vids. We think you've got a lot of potential, to go viral on the internet. As a novelty character." So I said, "Oh, all right then. Well, go ahead then, and they said, yeah, we've got we've got all the structure behind it and all the the management, and they got the funds to pump into it. They spotted me. They thought this is the new potentially new novelty character who was going to go viral. So anyway, I started, they sort of said, oh well, all you got to do is be yourself and talk about your life and all of that. So, and then what happened, right, was straight off, one of them, some bright spark, some line manager, I don't know who he was, but anyway, said, oh, how about like British gardeners, right, who've got a lot of cachet in Italy, So they're thinking, well, let's do it like a double whammy, a double thing, like the character Gardener Bert, who's going to be take off because of his idiosyncrasies and all of that. And he's in Italy, right? Because what happened, right, is that, they've got these contacts that say, oh, well, the British garden, the cottage style garden, which I don't know nothing much about. I just used to go around mowing lawns and clipping edges for old ladies, most of it was. And anyway, so they said, yeah, what we want to do, right, is we want to send the British gardener over to a garden in Italy that needs it's all abandoned and that. And you, Bert, you're going to create your dream garden for this person in Italy, right? And we're going to follow it. We're going to look like docu-series, what I mean, the beginning, Bert surveys the land and his big big plan of how he's going to and it was going to be this big thing, right? So we said, well, all right, because that was winter anyway, you know what I mean? I hadn't got much going on, in the winter gardening, it's this. It tends to fall off a bit, So what happened, right? They said, well, are you ready to fly out? Because we're ready. All you got to do is pack your bags and take whatever you need, change your clothes. By the way, this ain't me, I've dressed up a bit for it, for the presentation. Normally I've got the old wind, the body warmer and stuff. But the hat, right, that is that's non-negotiable. That is always on, sometimes I wake up in the morning, and I've still got my hat on, I forget, my hat, that's not negotiable. In the summer, I do have a different hat, but the hat is part of the thing. So you'll always see the hat, in case you're wondering, So yeah, so what they done, right, is they flew me over here, right? They flew me over in a private jet, they took a taxi to, can't remember where it was, some Lynham or somewhere, private jet. You know what I mean? There's a bit of Learjet, whatever it was, on the tarmac, Oh yeah, over here, Mr. Bert, there's your plane. I get on the plane. It's got a couple of girls on it, you know what I mean? Nice, mini skirts and all of that, I think, well, then where's the other passengers, you know what I mean? And there wasn't none, it was just me. Oh, it's oh, welcome on board, Bert, So like, you know, the canapes and like, you know, the bubbly and all that. Of course, by the time I got to Trieste here, like, I was like half cut, you know. Oh, yeah, it was all right, you know what I mean? I thought any moment they might be breaking out a bit of the sniff, but they never done that. But that was all right, like nice. Then got me over here, and there's this house here, like in a little village. You know, it's special, like, you know, big garden, and they got this other like, you know, it's like a field, like a little bit of a field that, you know, they reckon it was cultivated some time ago. And they said, well, what we're going to do, what you got to do, Bert? You just basically you've got to like express your vision, like you've got to see it, visualize your, you know, this garden, what you're going to do. We're going to like be there, like filming you, like, you know what I mean? So like, you know, and what happened, right? They were doing these videos and that, and you know, oh, you're doing great, Bert, you know. So I was like, oh, okay, and like was like, you know, I was shacked up here, like got my own room and all of that, and my own bathroom. It was all great, you know what I mean? You know, I didn't know nothing about Italy. Don't speak a word of it, and I do. So I speak a bit of it now, like sort of. Anyway, so what happened was, then the bloody pandemic come, didn't it? You know, and they, like all of a sudden, right, all these like the documentary team and all of that. They just evaporated. Oh, we got to get out, Bert, because, you know, the quarantine and all that, but get back to Blighty, like, you know. So they've, like, flown off. Like, they just, like, you know, wouldn't answer me calls or nothing. I was just here, you know. So there was a lockdown. I was locked down. I couldn't go back. Like, you know, couldn't get on the plane or nothing. So that was it. Like, I was over here. And I've been over here a while now. You know, come to the point, because then, you know, that COVID, you know, all like died down a bit, and then the lockdown, all, you know, we was unlocked, like, you know, and everyone was taking their mask off. That was terrible, the mask. I couldn't do with that. Anyway, so, you know, and afterwards, right, they got back in touch. Oh, sorry, Bert, but, you know, things have changed, and, you know, times have changed, tastes have changed. On the internet, we moving on to another project. In other words, they dumped me, like, you know, they dumped me. You know, dumped old Gardener Bert, like, with all this, he promised you the earth, promised you the stars, like, and here I am, like, what we told over here. Well, actually, it didn't turn out too bad, because, like, the lady what owns the house, like, she was, like, single, and, like, she wasn't like a spring chicken, but she wasn't mutton either, like, she was, like, in the middle, you know, she was all right. So, you know, we've sort of, like, you know, the relationship has, you know, it's changed a little bit, that's why you've got, you know, people say to me, well, Bert, you got your feet under the table there, haven't you, mate? Well, to be quite honest, your feet under the table, that usually refers to food, like, you know, so, you know, you're in there and you're getting your keep and you're not, you know, you're in. But the thing is, she don't cook, right? But that's lucky, because I cook. I ain't a bad cook, and I've been learning, you know. Of course, over here, like, the ingredients is like, whoa, you know. It's not like that crap you get in Sainsbury's, you know, over there, even Waitrose. Of course, I never go into Waitrose because I ain't middle class enough. I ain't got enough money neither. But anyway, no, it's all right, you know. So I kind of be sort of like, you know, settling into the thing, like learning a few words, not many. But anyway, the point is this, right? That's me. I'm here, gardener from Wiltshire, in Italy, not Spain, like, you know, most Brits. People like think Italy. What's all that about? Like, you know, the only people what moves to Italy is like, you know, pop stars, isn't it? Like Sting and all that, you know, with his big thing in Tuscany, you know. Well, I ain't one of them. But, you know, so yeah, I'm here, right? So what I'm going to do, right? You know, my concept, my basic concept is the zeitgeist, right? The zeitgeist is a word which most British people don't know. British people don't like foreign words, actually. They like to think a bit, hold on a minute, what's all this like, you know what I mean? Like, they do a bit of French, like they know the old je ne sais quoi and all that, you know, but, you know, when it comes to Germans, like, you know, think about the war and all that. So, yeah, it's the zeitgeist, right? Sniffing the zeitgeist is what I call it, sniffing the zeitgeist. Now, the zeitgeist, right, is like what's happening, like, in the world, you know, but like not just like events, but, you know, tendencies, trends, all of that sort of thing, you know. The zeitgeist is like, you know, what's on the horizon, you know, what's just passed. It's a bit like the Tao. Yeah, the Tao is another thing, you know, the Tao. It's like, Tao is like Chinese, like Chinese, but it's a Chinese, like, idea, like the energies of the universe, like you know, everything's changing, like the zeitgeist is always changing. So I'm sniffing that, like, in other words, like, you know, I'll be thinking about something, because I think about everything all the time. That's my problem. I was always like whirring away in there, like, you know. And then, you know, I'll be thinking about something, and I think about everything all the time. That's my problem. I think about everything all the time. That's my problem. I think about everything all the time. That's my problem. I think about everything all the time. That's my problem. I think about everything all the time. That's my problem. I think about everything all the time. That's my problem. I think about everything all the time. That's my problem. I think about everything all the time. That's my problem. I think about everything all the time. That's my problem. I think about everything all the time. That's my problem. I think about everything all the time. That's my problem. I think about everything all the time. That's my problem. I think about everything all the time. That's my problem. I think about everything all the time. That's my problem. I think about everything all the time. That's my problem. I think about everything all the time. That's my problem. I think about everything all the time. That's my problem. I think about everything all the time. That's my problem. I think about everything all the time. That's my problem. I think about everything all the time. That's my problem. I think about everything all the time. That's my problem. I And well, pick a topic. No, like kick it about a bit, But the only thing is, what you've got. Well, there's the bell. Like they do like ringing the bell over here. I tell you. What you got to remember, right? I guess this is fair warning, mind. Fair warning. I do tend to ramble on a bit, right? I do tend to beat about the bush, But what I either call that the elliptical discourse. Like, see, we start from this point and it goes whoa, like whoa, like, what I mean, all down there, but with the hope that like it'll come back to the same point. And I do repeat myself quite a lot. So a lot of what I'm saying now, you might find in another video and think, hold on a minute, he's already said that. So you've got to bear with me, like bear with Bert. That's another thing you've got to do, bear with Bert, like. But sometimes, right, Bert, you think, Bert, hold on a minute, Bert's got a point. Like, it's another thing, you bear with Bert, but Bert's got a point, And the other thing is, I can't remember what it is now, because you know what I mean, it's like the head's gone. Is that, oh yeah, that's right, is the other point is this, is that I do tend to go on quite a long time, right? So, me demographic, who's me demographic? Well, obviously, it ain't going to be people with like a short attention span, These are people what will fuck me, Bert followers, me Bertites, will have to be people who've got the staying power, like. But who can obviously think that, who stay for the long run. You might get like, you might get the going to get the benefit of the point, which is what I'm trying to develop, like, So just to bring it all back into to conclude it, right? Because here I am starting to go on again, like, starting to extrapolate, extemporize, Is right, is fucking hell. Let's go back again. Cut back to where I stopped before. The other thing, right, is that I do tend to go on quite a bit. My discourses are, they're elliptical and they're a bit long. So point is me demographic, right? Me demographic, who's got the staying power, right? Well, the people who've got the staying power obviously are not people with short attention spans. Like, you have to, like, after about 30 seconds, click this, click on something else, like, because they get bored with it, right? You've got to have staying power. But I reckon that, you might realise that it's worth sticking out to the end, because you think, Bert sniffing the Zeitgeist with it, I never thought about it like that. So, me babbers, me old babbies, right? That's it. This is Gardener Bert. This is who he is. That's the background, and then so obviously I don't know what the next video is going to be about, but it will be long.